Causes of the Great Depression were overproduction caused by a booming industry and spending the profits on expanding the business. Overproduction caused many workers to be laid off because they had to slow the production of goods. The government was also moving away from a laissez-faire approach, which translates into wait and see, meaning the government did not interfere with the economy, but eventually moved towards a hand-on interactive method. Canada also highly depended on their staple products of timber, minerals, and crops. Canada had difficulty selling crops because Australia, Argentina, and the States were really successful in the farming industry. While Canada's prairies was going through an 8-year drought, it caused a chain reaction of a variety of other businesses, resulting in termination, such as wheat shipping or grinding, which impacted mills and railways. The United States bought 40% of Canada's exports, and when America's economy started failing, Canada was soon to follow. Canada began investing in the stock market, which crashed on October 29, 1929 on Black Tuesday. This was an indicator that something in the system had failed and the economy was suffering. Discouraging imports from other economies was done by implementing tariffs that encouraged people to support their own economy and protect their own country's industries. Tariffs are duty, which is money collected on goods entering a country. This system raised the prices of Canadian imports in America. Canadians started buying stocks on margin or with borrowed money. This was called speculating and caused inflation in the stock prices. Despite indicators that the staple prices were falling, people were still buying stocks. This caused investors to lose confidence in their companies and sell their stocks in large quantities, causing the price of the stock to plummet. The economy could not only contain the fall for so long, and on October 29, 1929, the stock market crashed, Black Tuesday. In fact, Mackenzie King and the local governments refused to aid single homeless men, so between 1932 and 1936, Canada set up unemployment relief camps, ran by the Department of Defense, and paid men 20 cents a day for construction. In 1935, a riot erupted in Regina over conditions in the camp. For pricing, 30 million Americans lost their source of income from unemployment or lost a family member. There were only a few people who were able to keep their jobs and have a consistent work life. The Americans also lent money to foreign nations after World War I. Those nations relied on the United States to sell their products to repay the Americans. But the US led a protectionist movement which reduced the international trade, and the nations lost their chance to repay their loan. For jobs, the Depression changed many families in dramatic ways, leading to divorce rates which equaled to dropped marriages because it was too expensive to pay legal fees. Unemployed workers went into rage with allegations of fraud against PM Sir Richard Squirrels of 1932. Violent riots and protests began right outside of the Colonial Building and led the swearing in of the Commission of Government in 1934. An example is in Newfoundland and Labrador for people working in fishery, forestry, or mining, broke out in 1929. Between 1929 and 36, fish exports sank from 16 million to 7.3 million. During 1933, the Depression hit the United States hard because of the ideological problem with government intervention. The whole community was unemployed and lived in tarred paper shacks. The communities were named Hooverville. Dole was introduced when unemployed men and women turned to the government for relief during the Great Depression. A dole are payments that come in small amounts that provided for only half a person's total nutritional requirement. The changes of lifestyle for entertainment purposes in the 1930s was a huge invention. It started creating black and white movies that came out with no sound. The movies became super popular with comedies, gangster, and musicals that allowed the Americans to forget about the troubles during the war. PM Bennett set up a series of unemployment camps nationwide to provide work for singled unemployed men. In April 1935, 1,500 men from BC went on strike demanding for better living conditions. By the end of the program, only 117,000 men had stayed in the camps.
Created using Powtoon.